What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my Floowandereeze deck, and this is actually a profile I topped with. I mentioned this in my tier list that I did top with this deck. And to be honest, I know a lot of people are playing Floowandereeze kind of similar to how it used to be, just without the berry statue. And that just doesn't really work anymore. So I came up with a list that kind of fixed that problem, and I actually topped. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First, I got the 3 Rabina, the 3 Eaglin, the 2 Stree, and the 1 Toucan. Now, Rabina, whenever their effect resolves, you can get an extra normal summon, and Rabina, when it is normal summoned, you can add a level 4 Winged Beast from deck. Eaglin, add a level 7 or higher, or just level 7. Stree, banish the card from the grave. Toucan, add a Floowandereeze banished card to your hand. And whenever a Winged Beast is summoned, you can add the banished card to your hand. So, let's say you have Toucan banished and your normal Stree. You can use the effect Stree to banish and chain Toucan. So you can actually chain block in this deck as well. I run the 2 Empen. Empen is just a really good boss monster. Not only does it basically flat out kill links, you can also limit the play design of other decks. Because face-up monsters that were special summoned in attack position cannot activate their effects. Additionally, once during battle, you can quick effect, banish the card from your hand, and have that attacking monsters, or the monster it's battling with, have its attack and defense. Also run the 1 Miss Valley Apex Avion. Really good Omni Negate that you can get to the field pretty easily. Of course, I still run 3 Dimension Shifter, even though it's kind of falling out of favor in this format because there aren't a lot of Graveland decks. But Floowandereeze does not care if their stuff gets banished one bit, so it will still at least hinder some decks and at least funnel the plays of other decks. Next, I run 3 of the field spell, Floowandereeze and Magnificent Map. So Map is really cool. During your main phase, you can reveal 1 Floowandereeze monster in your hand, banish 1 Floowandereeze monster with a different name, then normal summon the monster you revealed. So let's say you got Stree in hand, reveal Stree, banish Eaglin, summon the Stree, and then you can grab back the Eaglin because of Eaglin's effect to revive itself or add itself back to the hand when you normal summon a Winged Beast. And the cool thing with the Map is that's an extra summon, which could come in handy if they happen to Ash or Imperm or something like that. Now the next card I'm running is the card that really makes it different from other Floowandereeze lists. 3 Domain of the Monarch. Yes, I am playing Monarch cards in Floowandereeze. Yes, I have to sacrifice the extra deck in order to do so, but it doesn't really hurt the deck too much. It just means we can't use Pot of Prosperity, which is a small downside, but to be honest, the only other way to play it is to rely on Empen and Apex Avion, which, let's face it, that's not really going to do too well. Because most decks, like, for example, Castria, summon and defense. Sword Soul, summon and defense. Branded Despia, summon and defense. Like, they can work around the Empen so easily. And all they have to do is bait out the Avion. Now, Domain, it really just shuts down most decks. Because most decks, their negations are monster negations and not a lot of omni negations. While there are some, like the Adventure engine, you can easily bait that out beforehand. And Domain of the True Monarchs, if your opponent doesn't have the out, this will just flat out win you the game. Because Branded Despia cannot play with their extra deck. Castria can't. The only deck in this format that really can, I'd probably say, is Labyrinth, which this deck will more or less just lose to Labyrinth. That's just, it's going to be an uphill battle. Also run the 1 Terraforming. Next, I run 3 Floowandereeze and add an Adventure. Banish 1 Winged Beast monster from your hand or face of field to add 1 Floowandereeze monster or Floowandereeze field spell from your deck to your hand. You can use this as a way to get your plays going, to grab your field spell, or it can also be used to dodge like Veiler and Imperm. Also run the 1 Unexplored Winds. Unexplored Winds is really good. It's basically whenever you tribute summon a monster, you can use 1 monster your opponent or 1 card your opponent controls as material. So it's like a form of remove 1 away. Additionally, you can reveal up to 2 Winged Beasts, shuffle them to the deck, or put them on the bottom of the deck, draw 2. So there's also a little bit of draw power, which is really nice considering we don't have Prosperity anymore. That effect is always going to be alive. Of course, we still have the 3 Pot of Duality. And since we aren't running a Pot of Prosperity anymore, I've put in Pot of Desires. Out of all the other draw cards, this is really the only one we can run, because obviously we don't have an extra deck. We can't run Extravagance either. And we do definitely need some draw power, and there's not too much in this deck that I would mind getting banished too much. So we run 3 of the Empen and 3 of the Rabina. but I would definitely want to have my plays going before I activate this. Additionally, I run 3 copies of Jack in the Hand. Jack in the Hand is really good to make up for the lack of prosperity. Jack in the Hand, you can reveal 3 level 1 monsters with different names from your deck. Your opponent adds 1 to their hand, you add 1 to your hand, and the third one goes into the deck. That's definitely really cool. Basically, if you reveal Rarbina, Eaglan, and say Stree, they're most likely going to take out of the Rarbina or the Eaglan. And if you have the Field Spell or the Advent of Adventure, that's just going to give you a full combo. Granted, it's not really a long combo. Lastly, I run 3 Book of Moon. Book of Moon is the card I kind of use to dodge cards like Imperm and Valor, but it can also be used offensively. Before I'd use it to help protect the barrier statue, but now I can use it to just disrupt my opponent's plays. Against some decks that will work, or against some decks that won't work, like Branded Despia, obviously they don't really care. Castra, Sword Soul, several other decks will be affected by it. Next, moving on to traps, I run the Rowan, Floowandereeze, and the Dreaming Town. Basically, this allows you to normal summon on your opponent's turn. And lastly, I also run 2 Metaverse to help grab out the Domain. Metaverse is definitely really good in this deck because there are going to be some instances where you don't need the Domain and you want to grab the map. So Metaverse basically allows you to have access to both of the field spells whenever you want. And that's it for my Floowandereeze deck profile. Obviously, since I'm running Domain, I don't have an extra deck, but this deck doesn't really need the extra deck. It's mainly just a luxury for prosperity. Well, let me know what you think of this build. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.